Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening. Uh, so let's get started. Myself, Vishnu. I will be the trainer for this Azure Devops session. So welcome all, and just want to check. You can hear me perfectly, right? Can someone confirm? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for
Good morning.
confirming.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Shri. Good morning. So thank you for confirming. So let's get started. We'll just wait for like 2 to 3 minutes and we'll get started. And since this is the first day, we would be just going a little slow for the initial days, and then we would be picking up our pace as we go. And since we have multiple students, multiple professionals trying to learn DevOps, Azure DevOps specifically, the way I would like to proceed is let me share my screen. I would like to just to know few things from your side. So these are the three questions before we start. So what are you currently doing? Like, are you a fresher? Are you a job professional? Are you trying to switch your job? Uh, it'll help me to understand more about you. Then why DevOps? What is the reason for you to choose DevOps? Because with your interest and passion, you have come forward. You wanted to learn something about DevOps. You might have heard something about DevOps. So just want to understand from your viewpoint, since you have joined the DevOps sessions, what would like to understand more about you and why have you chosen the DevOps? And finally, the expectations from the course. So instead of having a generic introductions, just getting a name, what you're doing and all, we will go with the simple thing. Just simply we just like to know what you're currently doing. It can be related to what you are currently a fresher, a .NET developer, a tester, whatever it might be. Or you have some knowledge on DevOps and you would want to skill up, brush up. So give me some details and why DevOps. And finally, like at the end of the course, what do you expect from the course? So this will give me an expectation on what each person's requirements and demands is. So here we'll get started. Maybe you can someone unmute and go forward. Maybe Shri, can you start?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Naveshri. So I don't have I have experience, but not like deep one. So I worked in a product support projects for 2 years. So I have a knowledge on like Java and support Spring Boot. Like very nil knowledge on DevOps, but I know like what are the things like basic concepts like since I've been like used for solving tickets. So not much of it. Now I'm searching for a new job like which I completed, and I'm doing master. I did my masters in US. So I'm not sure. I thought I could learn DevOps since most of the job search things are asking about the DevOps in along with the full stack developer. I mean, not completely. I thought this might help me, like this might add up to my resume so that I could get my job, whatever it is. Like I'm good with like DevOps engineer, like or like so what. According to the market, I wanna do things. That's from my side.
Expectations on the course.
So,
So
and my expectations,
help you learn DevOps.
yeah.
Thank you,
As
Shri.
of now, that's what that's what. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Let's go quickly. Next person. Thank you, Shri, for coming forward first.
Good morning, sir. I'm Vamsi.
Hey, Vamshi. Good morning.
I have I'm working as a .NET developer, and nowadays every application nowadays everything is cloud, and every application is deploying in cloud DevOps. So I want to learn DevOps and mainly Azure because I am in Microsoft stack. So I just want to know from this course my expectations are. Mm, in this course, we will cover Azure administrator and build and release engineer and SRE. These roles we will are we going to cover in this course? These are my expectations, sir.
Okay, a good list. Sure. Anything else, Vamshi?
Nothing, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Vamshi. Next, anyone would like to go forward?
Yeah, this is Rahul. Anil? So yeah, I'm been in QA most of my career. So yeah, that is what I currently do. And why DevOps is since I've been all through QA, now I'm looking for a career change. So that's why I'm trying to learn DevOps with Azure. And the expectations is that at least now that I'm learning DevOps. I know some of the cloud concepts and DevOps, and try to get a job or something like that. So yeah,
Perfect. Thank you, Rahul. Anil?
yeah.
Hey, yeah, good morning. So this is Anil. Actually, currently I am working on DevOps itself, but thing was like I want to working on AWS, so want to learn more about Azure and other stuff. I mean,
Perfect. Anything else?
in
Thank you, Anil. Harish, Rachna.
Hi, this is Rachna. I have work experience as a data analyst for 2 years in India, and I've done my master's in business analytics. So I have previously taken a short course on DevOps, and I found it really interesting. And I've done it with AWS previously, and I have no idea about Azure, but I have heard that Azure with DevOps is something that is most expected in the market at this point. So I wanted to learn Azure, and on top of that, I wanted to go for a career in data engineering, and for any career related to data engineering or Java or anything, DevOps has become a very basic thing. Uh, they are expecting people to be subject matter experts in DevOps. I don't want to be I mean, like, I don't expect to be an expert in it, but at least I need to understand the code integration and deployment. So yeah, I'm looking forward to have a basic understanding at least.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Rashna. I think Harish.
Yeah. Hi, good morning. Myself, Harish.
Yes, Harish. Good morning.
Good morning. I am starting my new career on software. I am working on school, private school.
Okay.
Okay. I started my new career on Azure Devops.
Okay. Yes, Harish.
Yeah, my expectations is got a job.
Okay. Thank you, Harish. Sandeep.
Hi, myself Sandeep Draksharam. So I'm working as a cloud ops engineer. So I'd like to dive deep into this Azure. So that's the reason.
Okay. Perfect. So with this understanding, let's get started. I think I have covered everyone. So with this understanding, let's get started. The reason why I start with this is we should have a clear-cut goal. Like what is the purpose for us? What is the purpose? And even for me, where each student is, where each professional is, and trying to understand from your viewpoint. So with this, let me get started. This is Vishnu. I have near 10 years, 1 month experience currently. So I started my career as a .NET developer way back in 2014. At that point of time, the role used to be called as build and release engineer. So as part of build and release engineer, like initially I was into .NET development. Around that time, there used to be another person who used to do this build and release engineering stuff. He used to learn on some tools called ubuild and udeploy. And so slowly the interest came. I just started the searching for that, and then I learned a tool called VSTS. I felt it interesting. Then I switched my career in 2015 from .NET developer to VSTS, doing the build, doing the release, doing the administration and stuff. And around 2017-18 time-ish, it was renamed to Azure Devops. And from that time onwards, I've been learning in Azure Devops, and that is how the thing started. It just started as a small initiative, like in companies, a small initiatives would be there, right? Whenever a new thing comes up, they'll say that, okay, just do something and do a hackathon. So just what started as a hackathon, what I started learning made me what I am currently. Currently, I am a multi-cloud DevSecOps reliability engineer. I work in my project on Azure as well as AWS. Both our project is a multi-cloud project. And on a personal note and on POCs, I have learned myself in GCP as well for the Google Cloud. So multi-cloud DevSecOps engineer, because as part of security, as the roles goes on, as we gain more experience, they look not just DevOps, they look for DevSecOps. And as one person mentioned, something called SRE is there, which is called Site Reliability Engineer. We will discuss more about what Site Reliability Engineer is for others as well. But for now, with this concepts, let's get started. So the way I would like to proceed further is like I am a person who believes less of PDFs and less PPTs and more of whiteboards, more of diagrammatic representations, and teaching you more from the diagrammatic point of view. So we'll get started with the DevOps. Before I go to the definition of DevOps, the reason DevOps came, and all the other related stuff. So let me take you on a story. Let me tell you a story on how a company called Facebook got formed. So how many members have watched the movie The Social Network? Yes, no.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm a movie buff, so sometimes
No.
I give some weird examples on movies. Please excuse me. So this is a movie about a social network. It got released in 2010. It is a movie on how Facebook got started. Yeah, it'll be a good watch for you on weekend. So yeah, do watch that. But let me take you on a story where this guy, Mark Zuckerberg, had an idea because he just got in a breakup with his girlfriend, and he wanted to move out of it, and he wanted to do something beyond his daily routine college life in Stanford. So what did he do? He had an idea, and he wanted to publish this idea. He wanted to publish this idea. So what did he do? He started he started writing the code. He had an idea. He's a developer. He started writing some code, and he wrote that code. And what did he do? He wanted some images. He wanted to do some hacking, so he wrote some scripts, and then he converted this code. This code, let's assume that this code is written in .NET. For simplicity's sake, let's believe that this code is written in .NET for simplicity point of view. And we have this person, Mark Zuckerberg, writing the code, and he wanted he wanted to publish this in a server. What is a server? It is just some entity where requests will come and the response will be shared back to the user. So he wanted to deploy this code, convert this code into a package. A package, in simple terms, is like an exe, which you use to download and install a game. You install a VLC software, you go to internet, you download the software, you install it. Let's assume that that is a package. That package needs to be installed on a machine. For simple sake, I'm simplifying the terms for everyone to understand, even for a fresher to understand. But as we go on, I'll introduce more complex terms. But for now, for the professionals who already know about DevOps, please excuse, because this is like I'm just teaching you simpler terms. So now we have the code. The code is published, but the process of converting the code into a package, we have some process. That process will convert this. Why? Because this is written in a C sharp code or a .NET code, where we can, if you go check, we'll see something like public classes, private classes, encapsulation, inheritance. We'll see a lot of code. This is something which a human person can understand. But can I understand an exe? Can I open an exe and write a code within an exe? No, I can't, because it is written in a mission language. So here we have a person, the code is written, the code is converted, and the package is deployed into the server. So here, for now, let's assume that the code is written and this code is converted into a format which the machine will understand. And this is deployed into the server. Okay, this is deployed into the server. Now, what did he do? He said that, okay, my website is up, and he said like, okay, every member can come and access my website. Please come and access my website. Members started using it. First 5, 10, then more members. And what would happen if more members would come? What would happen if more members are coming into the server and trying to access? After some time, it will get crashed. The server might not respond because of huge load. Then Mark Zuckerberg had a problem. He didn't want to, the users to face the issue. So he went to this Eduardo Saverin and he said that I want more servers, his co-founder. And then he said that, okay, fine. Let's do one thing. Let's take this package. Let's deploy them into multiple servers. Let's deploy this package into multiple servers, multiple VMs. Let's deploy this into multiple VMs so that I would be able to understand the VM. I'll be able to understand the multiple VMs. And even if more users come and access my website, it should work fine. Even if more members come and access my website, it should work fine. So that is how uh, the VMs, the multiple VMs, they started creating multiple servers. And even if multiple members are coming and accessing the website, even if multiple members are coming and accessing the website, still the traffic is being managed and maintained. What is the reason? The reason being, since you have multiple VMs, it can handle multiple load. So Mark Zuckerberg was happy. Everything is going good. Everything is perfect. So then he faced another issue. Like when we had multiple VMs, we need to do multiple configurations. We need to change multiple things. So at that point of time, he said that okay, this is fine, this is good, but every time when I want to create an infrastructure, I have to manually go and I have to manually create it. I'm not liking it. I want to automate the process. I would like to automate the process. And he did some automations. The automation was working fine. Then he wanted to, for example, in my machine, if I want to change something, for example, if I want to change something, what would I do? I will go and manually do it. But what if I have to do it, like if it takes 10 minutes in my mission, and if I need to do that in 5 other missions, how much time it would take? It would take 50 minutes. And if I want to do that in 100 missions, definitely it would take more time, right? So he wanted some software which can handle configurations. Mark Zuckerberg wanted some software which can handle configurations. Before that, he wanted one software to automatically create infrastructure. And he wanted to do this. So what did he do? He came up with some examples. So now my code is there, my package is there, my package is deployed, my infra is ready, my infra is getting automatically created, everything is being done. What else I should do? I should continuously monitor my application. I should continuously monitor my application and ensure that my application is working fine. Continuously I should monitor because I don't want my system to be up. I don't want my users to face the issues. So as a person, as a person who will continuously check, I will continuously check my applications and ensure that it is performing as per my requirement or not. So this is a little story on, let's assume that he had an idea, he converted the idea, and he deployed the code. Multiple members are accessing it. Now, let's replace these terms with the tools we would be covering as part of our course curriculum. So first, we would be starting with Linux. First, we can start with the Linux. Then we would be starting with source code management tools, then Azure admin. Starting once we have a little knowledge on, like, before that, the basics, of course, the basics, the fundamentals, the cloud concepts would come. The basics, the cloud concepts, what is Azure admin, what is Azure infra, those would come. And then we would be having a more information on, okay, how do the different things work. Then we would be focusing on Terraform, Ansible, Jenkins, Docker, monitoring tools, and Azure Devops tools. So here, this part where the code is written is called as SCM tools. And the tools we use are Git, GitHub, Azure repos. As part of our course curriculum, we would be covering these tools, which are SCM, tools called Git, GitHub, and Azure repos. It is the tools which they use to check in the code, which we use to publish our code, and similar tools we'll be using. So here in this story, this is the first part where we learn CM related tools. Once we have some knowledge on this thing, we would also need to learn something called Linux. So here we need to learn scripting as part of our course curriculum, because we are in the era of automations. Everyone, the companies are looking for automation engineers. The companies are looking for someone who can do the automation very quickly. So at that point of time, we need to do the automations and automations scripting, where we need to where we'll have a system. The system, we will not be in a graphical user interface. We will only be getting access to this terminal. That's it. Everything what we do has to be done in the form of scripts. So at that point of time, when you don't have anything to touch, you'll not be having a pointer to go and do it. You'll not be having a right click. Everything needs to be done in the form of scripts. So for that, we would be learning the Linux scripting. Over here, the process of converting the code into a package in simpler terms is called as continuous integration. The process of converting the code into a package is called as continuous integration. The process of doing a deployment, the process of copying the package and installing the package in a DevOps terminology is called as continuous deployment. So as part of that, we would be learning Azure DevOps, and we'd be using Azure tools for this particular one. So over here, when we learn the CI/CD, we'll be having on CI, we'll be focusing on CD, how to do the CI/CD pipelines, how to create the pipelines. We will discuss in more detail in the subsequent classes, maybe more tomorrow. So here, when we complete the CI/CD, we'll be having a decent knowledge on YAMLs, Azure DevOps YAML, Jenkins YAMLs, and we can do the deployments using these tools. So as part of this, we'll be doing, this is the infrastructure part. This is what someone wanted on Azure admin. So here, this process of creating a virtual machine, of creating the internal networking, internal storage accounts and all comes over here, where we discuss about Azure admin as part of a course curriculum. This part where we automatically create infrastructure is called as Terraform. This, the tool which handles the configuration, is called as Ansible. And the person who does this, we do with the use of some tools like monitoring tools. We use some monitoring tools for this particular one. So this is how we would pick up, we would learn all of our tools. This example is just to show you the different tools what we have. We do CI/CD using Jenkins and Azure DevOps. Then we do the monitoring using Nagios and Azure Monitor, Azure Log Analytic Workspace and all. We use this particular one. Then we use Terraform to create the infrastructure. We use Ansible to handle the configurations. So this is how, in the current world, DevOps is becoming more popular. We will discuss in detail and more minute steps in the next classes. But as you can see, overall, the DevOps is trying to automate this process, ensure that the package which is being deployed automatically, ensuring that the infra which is being created will get created automatically. Any manual changes which would take like hours and hours of time will get handled easily using Ansible tool. If for example, in your phone, you get a notification saying that your memory card is completely filled, like 95%, 90% of data is used and you need to clear the data. That is what you'll get a notification, right? And even Google Drive and all. So there has to be an agent, there has to be a person which will continuously check. That is being done by this particular entity. This particular entity will continuously monitor, and if something is wrong, it'll automatically send a message. It'll automatically send an email, or it can automatically call the person who is working, and it will get the response back. So that is how the different tools are there, different configurations are done. So coming back to the previous question on why DevOps. So some members are searching for jobs. So yes, Azure DevOps is in demand. The reason being, we have developers. The developers would write the code, then it would be deployed to different VMs that used to take a lot of time. And there came a time when we have a lot of different stakeholders working. There is no transparency in the project because every person is working separately. The tester doesn't know when the deployment is happening. The developer doesn't know how many good branches, and the testing team will need to get more information. And then there's an operations team who will directly deploy it. So what used to happen before the era of DevOps is there used to be a developer, then there used to be a operations person, ops guy. So developer used to, what is the role of a developer? Write code, create a new functionalities. They use the different codes, create functionalities, and resolve any application level bugs. That is the role. What is the role of an operations person? Creating infrastructure, your servers, your everything. Maintain that, monitor that, and doing the deployments is the role of an operations person. So the role of an operations person is this. The role of a developer is to do this. Now, in this beautiful world before DevOps came, this person used to just write the code, and this code he used to just generate it locally in his machine, which used to take a lot of compute power in his laptop. And once this is done, the developer used to give this package to the operations person, and operation person who creates the infra takes the package from the developer and deploys in the server. So here in this scenario, okay, write the code, create the package, and deploy it blindly. The operations person doesn't know what is the role of the package. The operation can't understand the code which is written over here. He'll not have that much knowledge. He will just directly deploy into the server. So now the users are accessing the site. The users are accessing the site, and they would be very, very unhappy with this because they're facing some issues, and they say that they're facing multiple issues. Now, both these persons will, the operations person will say that, no, 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 the previous package is working fine. After you gave me the new package, everything stopped for me. Everything is not working for me. This is because of the new package, the operations person will say. Then the developer will say that, no, this package I have tested in my local machine, everything's working fine. It might be issue with your laptop. So like this, both the members will come into an argument. Both the members will fight, and at the end of the day, the customer is the person who would be the most unhappiest person. So what happened? We needed a system where both the members can collaborate, both the members can work together. It can bring transparency. It can bring automation. It can do what do I say, a continuous feedback from the client saying that everything is working fine. We needed a process where the requirements which we get from the clients, we understand the requirements accurately. We convert these requirements into tasks. Once these tasks are done, the development would be done easily. The code development would be done. Once the development is done, then all the necessary checks would be done. Once the development is done, the deployment should be done. Once the deployment is automatically done, the testing should be automatically done. Once the testing is done, the feedback from the clients should also be done automatically. And again, depending on the feedback, the requirements will come, the tasks would be created, development would be done, deployment would be done, testing would be done, and again we take a feedback. And this process is a continuous process which happens infinitely, which happens till all the requirements are met. And this is a continuous process. This is a continuous process. And this is the logo of DevOps. The final logo of DevOps is this only. So you can check, but DevOps in very short terms is like this, where we do this continuously. So how do we do that? We do it using these tools, and we ensure that all the members work together. All the members ensure that they work seamlessly. And even if I understand, if I want to get it as a developer, if I want to understand where the current deployment is, by seeing the Azure DevOps pipelines, I can understand that that's in testing phase, or it is in requirement phase, or it is in deployment phase. We'll be able to get a clear-cut idea on where the current deployment is, and we will take a feedback accordingly. So here, the reason for the demand is more and more companies are going towards DevOps. Every role which you do, they are adding an ops angle to it. They are calling it AI ops. They are calling it ML ops. They are calling it data ops. Different roles are getting added because, as someone has mentioned, the role is since with the world of AI, there are the roles will like in 5 years or maybe earlier, the roles will come where you would only need to create the requirements. You need to write the code, deploy the code, create the infra, deploy that code in that infra, do the monitoring, and everything you need to do it. That will become more of a generalist role. So at that point of time, DevOps is a prerequisite because we need to understand the process and the flow. Just to give you an example of the demand. So if I say that I can bluff. I can say that Azure DevOps has more opportunities than AWS DevOps. I can say that, but I can't hack Naukri, and of course I can't manipulate this. So for simplicity purpose, I'm just keeping India for now, and I'm searching the number of opportunities for AWS DevOps, and how many I see? I see. Okay. I see that we have these many number of opportunities. And can someone guess how many opportunities Azure might have? Just take a guess.
5,000.
Okay, 5,000 by Sandeep. Next one. Just take a guess. It's okay. No one is complaining. No one is judging you. Take a guess. Anil, Vamshi, Harish, Steve. And I get none. So let's search. And it is 6,636. So yeah, near to 5,000. But the number of opportunities in India are currently more for Azure DevOps because the demand is higher for Azure DevOps currently in the market. This is just to give you an example where the demand is. Where there's more demand, this is a proof on how the demand is growing, how the different things are getting searched for. So I need not explain the demand on DevOps because I showed you practically the demand what we have in the current market. And coming to the cloud, I need not explain it, but everything is on cloud currently. Everything is on cloud because, for example, if I want to go for the on-prem and if I want to create a 1 GB RAM machine, I might like it might be a little difficult to create. It needs a lot of changes. Or if I want to create a VM with 512 GB RAM, it's difficult to do it. But in cloud, that's possible. So everything is moving towards cloud, and everyone should have the basics of cloud concepts. And as part of our course curriculum, we would be teaching you the cloud concepts. We'll go with the course curriculum more tomorrow, but for now, I'll just close it in 2 to 3 minutes, and then I will open for queries. But again, tomorrow would be the day 2 of the session. So we will discuss more on the course curriculum, how the course would happen, what are the different things. We'll learn more tomorrow. But for now, project demand, yes, there's a lot of project demand currently in the market because uh, we have Windows Server, and if you have a Windows, generally it is more compatible with Microsoft related products, and Microsoft is also tightly integrated one. So any changes which you do, Azure DevOps is more. And for career shift also, from testing to DevOps, it'll always be there. And I just don't suggest Azure DevOps. Just start learning Azure DevOps because there's more demand. And eventually, after 1 year or 2 years, you should learn AWS DevOps also, because any cloud which they give, you should be able to do it. Because companies are going towards multi-cloud role, where they say that, okay, I like the AI services in Azure, so I'll use the AI service in Azure. And for me, creating a VM or the storage is cheaper than AWS, so let me use AWS. No, 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 I want few voice translation services which are good in GCP, and they'll use GCP. So every company is coming up with their own cloud, and we should be a multi-cloud DevOps engineer. That should be your goal, and that is where I want each and every person to be. But my goal is to make you a Azure DevOps engineer. So coming to the Azure part, yes, as part of the course curriculum, we'll be covering Azure admin, we'll be covering about Azure network, compute, Azure storage, Azure Firewall, all the different things we'll be covering. We will cover more about what topics we cover. So yes, from the learning point of view, what we have just discussed today, everything which I teach would be 100%, maybe not 100%. There are some topics which are theoretical. 90% of the topics would be practical. I'm a person who believes less theory and more practical. Everything which we do would be done in a task oriented basis. Every day would be having different tasks, and the tasks needs to be completed on that day, or by, if you are a little occupied for that day, maybe the next day or by end of the week. That is how it should be. The learning should not be, I mean, it can be a little theoretical, but most of the time it should be practical, because unless you do it on your own, you'll not be able to remember. And I'm a person who believes that everything what I teach could be done, has to be done in a practical based approach. So that is how we will teach. Tomorrow I'll show you more about how we would be proceeding, how we would be taking forward our class. But since we are around 7:55, I would like to open up for queries and discuss more today, and discuss your queries today. But overall, this is what we have for today. Tomorrow would be the day 2 of the demo. Any queries? It's
Sir,
okay.
are we
It,
Nothing from my side.
covering build and release, sir?
I sorry to
okay.
interrupt you. This is Lakshmi from Career IT. Regular sessions will be starting from next Tuesday, yesterday, and I'll
Okay.
share those details to you. Okay, all. I'll share in mail and as well as in WhatsApp also. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmi, for confirming that.
Okay, thank you.
So, yes, as Lakshmi has mentioned, our classes would start on from Tuesday. So, but Lakshmi, we'll have a one more demo tomorrow. I think tomorrow will be fine, right, for the other demo. But the regular session will start from next Tuesday. So Yeah. Any queries? Any
Sir, are we
questions?
covering build and release engineers, sir?
So previously they used to call it as build and release engineers. Who's this? Vamshi, right? So Vamshi,
Yes,
previously
sir.
the build and release engineer, the terminology used to be like that, but right now it is more DevOps, CI/CD engineer. They are calling it CI/CD engineer and all. Yes, we'll be covering that as well. But the
Okay,
terminology
sir.
is changed. At the end of the day, it is like you create a pipeline, you do a deployment automatically. That is what the build and release engineer will do. And now even a CI/CD person would also do the same.
So what about SRE, sir?
So SRE is more of an advanced role, a little advanced role. As part of our class, what I would be doing is when we do it practically, I'll not tell you, but I'll intentionally make some mistakes. I'll intentionally do some changes and I'll ask you to troubleshoot it. Troubleshooting is an important prerequisite as part of a DevOps engineer role. And someone who troubleshoots it, someone who fixes the issue, someone who identifies the issue, that person, the physical traits, I mean, the traits which a SRE person should have is more for troubleshooting. So from this point of view, we would be covering that particular aspect where we would be covering about how do you troubleshoot the issues. When an issue comes, how do we fix it? What are the different things which are there? As part of that, we will learn. Apart from that, there are few tools which Vamshi will not be covering, but you can learn them easily in the market. For example, tools like PagerDuty on how to set up a PagerDuty, how to do that. Because
Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, because that involves like little bit it does not directly DevOps role because they are teams within the companies which set up everything and they give to us. So an SRE will just person will come and will use it because SRE's prerequisite is troubleshooting, having knowledge on Azure admin, having knowledge on how deployments occur. Once you have that knowledge, then we can aspire to become a SRE also. SRE involves working in night shifts. SRE involves working in something called on-call duty, where you work continuously for a week, and any production issue you need to go and fix it. By going and fix it, what do? You troubleshoot it and you fix the issue. So the fundamentals
I
for an
think it is
SRE,
more I think it is more advanced and the role is for I think managers and team leads.
yeah, yes, but at least 6 years, 7 years, it's good to have that experience because you're handling the production. If a single mistake is done, the production, you are responsible. So SR is more of a senior and an advanced role.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay,
thank you,
sir.
Vamshi, for the question. Someone else had a query. Yep. Okay. So tomorrow it will be my turn. I'll be asking you a couple of queries to you. So be ready. And every day, what we would have is once we start the class, we will just I'll ask you like any queries, any questions from yesterday. And at the end of the class, we will have quick recap for 2 minutes on what we have done in the last 1 hour. So just having a quick information. Initially, we had introductions from each and every person. I understood what you're currently doing, so I got a little idea on okay, we have a mixed set of folks. Then I understood the reason for why DevOps, and I understood the expectation on the course. So many of the members are looking for career shift, for learning cloud, learning Azure DevOps. And I was just expecting someone would give me the expectations from the course is more practical than theoretical because knowledge, info, everything is available in ChatGPT. I'm being very frank. Everything is available in ChatGPT. If you want loads and loads of articles and PPTs and presentations, there are many. But the actual knowledge is in the practical things, the troubleshooting part, and that is what I would like to teach. So with that, we just went with a movie example. I like movies, so we went with a movie example of Mark Zuckerberg having an idea, writing the code, creating the package, deploying it, where multiple members accessed it, and the server got down. Then he created multiple VMs, and the load was able to manage. Then he had a problem where he moved from USA to England where he needed to create the infra. He moved from US to India. He wanted to create the infra. So he wanted a tool which can automatically create the infra in different locations. He learned Terraform. Using the Terraform tool, multiple infrastructures are created in multiple locations. Then one mission, 5 missions, then thousands of missions came. Handling the configurations of thousands of missions became more difficult. Then a tool came called Ansible, which will do that. And to manage and monitor thousands of the tools, one person can't do it manually, go and check every time. So we're using some monitoring tools like Azure Monitor, which will continuously monitor my application and ensure that it is working fine. So these are the different tools what we had. And we discussed on a high level on DevOps. What is the role of a developer? What is the role of ops? How they go in a blame game? And as a DevOps person, how are we resolving it? This is what we discussed for today. We will continue with the part 2 of the demo tomorrow. With this, I'm done for the session. If you have any queries, generally ask the students to stay back because some members feel shy in not asking in front of everyone. So I'll ask other members to stay, but others can drop off if you don't have any queries. But thank you for joining. Please do join tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Vishnu.
Thank you. You can drop off if you don't have any queries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anil.
Thank you.
Harish, any questions?
Um,
Okay, Harish, like if you are like you can reach out to me separately also. You can get in contact with the admin team. They'll connect you with me if you are feeling shy, Harish. Thank you.
So I have a question.
Yes, Sanat.
So thing was like right. So we are mostly going to concentrate on. I mean, like Azure admin or like all the things like how we cover on AWS, like how the pricing works, how the billing, how the operations and creation of instances. I mean AKS and all those things, or how this we are doing.
So as part we can get the updated sheet from the course content from the team, but my intent is Azure admin uh, is the foundation. So Azure admin has to be there. Once we know about Azure, then only we can go to CI/CD pipelines and all, right? So as part of Azure admin, we'll show you how to create VM, VMSS. I think you're the AWS person, right?
Correct. Correct.
Anil. Yes, yes. So here, like there we call it as EC2 instances, right? Here we'll be creating Azure virtual machine scale set. There we call it as S3 bucket. Here we'll be creating the storage accounts. There they call it the Route 53. Here we'll be using Azure DNS.
Yeah. I mean, mainly I'm looking in those type of things because, like, as you know, like you mentioned here nowadays, like we with having one cloud, this thing doesn't work in current world.
No, yes, Anil, it's you have to be a multi-cloud engineer. I'm not demeaning you with saying that AWS is less, but Azure and AWS are both there. It just depends on the project requirement, and now projects are going with
Like,
multi-cloud. So yes,
all the companies are looking for, I mean, multi-cloud things like for a few things they are using, I mean, few services they are opting for AWS and few like for Azure and GCP and Google Cloud, all those things. So that is the
yes.
reason, like I am looking more into that. Previously, I mean, last year I was with AWS DevOps too, and this year I am for Azure DevOps. So just, but thing was like, right, here I'll be on and off because like I have a little one, newly born little one, so probably on and off. So if I have any questions, I will reach out to you, Vishnu.
Sure, Anil. Yeah, I even recently, like 2 years back, I had a baby. I know how it would be. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's like just months old, and like we are a bit like on things. So just I'm letting you know. Probably I'll be on and off. But still, if I have any questions or anything, I'll be following up everything. So I'll reach out to you if I have any questions or anything. If I am not able to reach in class time.
Yeah, yeah, sure, Anil.
Yeah. Thanks, Vishnu.
Thank you. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.